Hi, I'm Jameson. I'm a software developer. And is AI going to replace all the software developers? Eventually, probably yes. But let's talk about today. Okay, right? Because this has all happened in about 3 years, this whole LLM thing, right? Well, okay, so in 2024, 2025, I was not as concerned, although I saw the trajectory. AI was acting more as like an autocomplete, just a quicker way to start writing code. Right? It wasn't able to just fully write entire systems very well, not at all. But as of 2026 and the models that started coming out around that time, early 2026, late 2025, things started to get a little bit scary, where models would start one-shotting things, and the code would start looking quite good, like even better than some things that I would write myself, right? Because the models were just that good. They've ingested huge amounts of code, and I mean, coding is hard enough as it is, but um, with these smarter and smarter models, like they will pull in things that I wouldn't have thought of myself. But here's the catch. Something I learned in college, the concept of a mental model. So when you're building something, like let's say that I am building a web application that has login. Okay, when I'm building it, assume I don't have AI. If I build it myself and I type out every character, then I will develop what's known as a mental model, an understanding of every piece of the system and how it all works together. And that's just stored in my brain. And what comes with that is an understanding of what can go wrong, which is really important, right? Because if you just ask an AI model to build something, or if you vibe code something like in Lovable or something like that, you vibe code it up, you might not really understand um, what can go wrong. What are the different systems involved? How do they interact with each other? How could they break? And you can ask an AI model to analyze that, and it's getting better, but it's still, this is kind of one of the core pieces of value that I think a human uh, developer can bring to the table is intuition and understanding of the system. And hopefully they have a mental model. Hopefully they haven't vibe coded the whole thing completely. Or if they have, hopefully they just at least read it and understand it. This is a bit of a slippery slope, and I can feel myself sometimes falling down it, where you know, it's so tempting to just, an AI can spit out code so quickly to just kind of say, oh, okay, that looks good. But, I mean, at least the way that I'm trying to use AI right now is I try and work kind of more at a medium to lower level. I'm telling it, what functions to create, if you know any programming. Essentially, just not just broadly saying, build this app and it has these features. It's a little bit more nuanced. I'm kind of imagining it as saying, this is how I want you to build it. Build it in this way, and this does that. And so I understand the mechanisms and the workings of it. So, as AI gets better and better, I do fear that human beings will lose an understanding of how the system works, and then that's where you can kind of start getting into trouble, right? So that's one area, the mental models. And that's the role that humans fill: understanding and, importantly, accountability, right? Because if you just vibe code something up in Lovable, you're accountable for that, right? Whoever, like, if the CEO does it, the CEO is accountable. Or, if it's your own project, just something you're trying out, you're accountable for it. If someone, let's say it's, let's just say it has sign up in it and it allows you to input your phone number, or your address, your physical address. If your address gets leaked, your vibe coded app gets hacked, you're accountable for that, right? You're responsible and liable. So as a developer, that's kind of what I'm understanding the role has more shifted to is trust and accountability, like someone to do do the reading of the code and understand it and purport to whoever's in charge that it's good to go to production, right? Or at least communicate risks if we're kind of rushing things along. We can say, okay, we're finding this many bugs per week. There's still probably bugs out there because, we haven't stopped finding bugs. So that level of understanding and accountability is kind of how I feel like my role has evolved now that AI is writing a huge amount of the code that I submit to GitHub, right? Okay, and like I said, in the future, I would imagine, just based on the rate of progress, in 3 years it's gotten this good. It's probably going to get good enough to where there doesn't need to be a human being involved at all, but we're not right there yet. So, as far as trajectory, we're going there, but for the meantime, at least software developers still have a place in the world. That pretty much sums up my thoughts on this video. If you liked it, please subscribe for more videos. And if you're building a software project and you need someone to audit it, or you just like to hire a developer to build a project of yours, feel free to reach out. I have a link, it should be in the description. SaundersTechLabs.com, that's my company, and we can see what we can do for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.